Welcome to the sweepstakes weekend predictions, where we take 5 of the best college baseball series in the upcoming weekend and try to make our predictions for which team is going to win the series. Now, this week, going into week 1 of college baseball, there was a slim pickings. A lot of the better teams who have good matchups are playing in a tournament or a round robin style event where they're not consistently playing the same team. So there just wasn't a lot of ranked versus ranked matchups to see. But still some games that should be very interesting to watch, and we chose ones that should be at least competitive and not just a ranked team against a team that they'll easily be able to beat, or at least should expectedly beat pretty handedly. So starting off with our first series that we're making a prediction for is UC Santa Barbara at Campbell. Now we have UC Santa Barbara ranked. Campbell is not, but since they have that home field advantage, I feel like there is the potential for this Campbell team, which has been very solid recently, to maybe upset UCSB. I don't really know if it's really considered an upset between these two mid-major schools. They're around the same level, and home field advantage definitely will help. But I'm going to stick with the road team, and I feel like UCSB has the potential to really snag that first game and capture momentum with Matt Agger, their starting pitcher, who should be an absolute ace this year, and really, follow through that momentum and snag at least one more game throughout the weekend.
Yeah, I will end up agreeing with you on this one. I think a lot of times with these matchups that you think are close or at least similar competitive level, having that Friday night ace really helps the road team travel and get their feet under them and really set the tone for the series. And I think that'll be the key for Santa Barbara. And like you said, wouldn't really be surprised to see Campbell take this series, but I will also pick Santa Barbara to take it on the road.
Yep. And next up, the series that we chose is Northeastern at Arizona. This Northeastern team is ranked. Arizona looking like they might have a down year, but I think it's just so hard to play at that Arizona stadium. High Corbett Field is like a parking lot out there. It's massive. The angles are pretty strange, and the outfield is so huge that it's going to be tough to be able to compete with a team that has experience playing there. And I think Arizona, being the first series of the year, is able to, potentially eke that one out and has that ability and, understanding of how to play the field, and has that communication down probably a lot better than Northeastern will in the outfield.
Yeah, I have a feeling some of these Northeastern players don't really have too much experience in the desert, at least at the collegiate level, just given where their school's located in the conference they play in. And yeah, Arizona's a hitter's ballpark, and that's the type of game those games turn into at High Corbett Field. And one thing Arizona does consistently is produce really good offensive talent. It seems like it could be a little bit of a down year for them in their position player group, but at the same time, the program produces them just constantly, and so you expect people to step up. And I also picked Arizona just for that home field advantage and hitters ballpark, and I think they're just going to have a more put together position player group than Northeastern, even though Northeastern has some top end talent, like we said in our player rankings.
Yeah, for sure. And then after that, our fourth series that we chose is Air Force at Mississippi State. This is interesting. Mississippi State has been down for a few years now, and Air Force has a few very interesting players that have a lot of talent and can put up pretty crazy numbers, and might be able to jump this Mississippi State team if they're not fully expecting a competition here and some competitive games. But I did give the edge to Mississippi State. Maybe they finally figured it out this year and are able to compete at a high level in the SEC, and it starts here against Air Force.
Yeah, two really rough years after winning the national championship, but you give them the home field advantage, one of the best home field advantages in the entire country, if not the best. I think I might be more inclined to take Air Force if it was just a one game thing or if it was a neutral site matchup. But given it's at Mississippi State, we know that they have talent. It's just a matter of them putting it together. And just given the home field advantage in the environment, I'm going to take Mississippi State.
Yeah, and now guess going to the West Coast, we have Cal State Fullerton at Stanford. Somewhat of a rivalry. It seems like they always play each other pretty tight and have that postseason experience against each other, with Fullerton sometimes getting put in a Stanford regional or something like that. And yeah, I think it's competitive, especially since Stanford might be having a down year. I think the start of the year might be the roughest. They might be able to turn things around later in the year and get some momentum once some of these younger players that don't have many ABs to their name are able to get used to being in a starting environment. But I do have Stanford just eking out a series win over this Cal State Fullerton staff, just because they might have that little bit extra experience at home field, even though it's not that much of a travel for Fullerton. I feel like Stanford might be able to just take this one.
Yeah, Fullerton almost took the series against Stanford last year, and that was a Stanford club that was very put together and uh, had the Omaha experience as well. And so it says a lot that Fullerton was able to hang with them, but I'm also going to go with Stanford here. I think there's just too much of a talent discrepancy between these two teams.
Yeah, for sure. And then lastly, our final series prediction is between San Diego and Texas. It's at Texas. I think this is a pretty clean win for Texas, but San Diego has been very competitive recently. But I just think Texas has that talent. They are ranked to start the season, and if they're able to capitalize on their potential, they should be able to start the season off right here.
Yeah, I think this is the easiest pick of our slate today, and I'm also going to go with Texas. I'd be pretty surprised if San Diego took one of the first two games. If they take one of them, I think it may be that Sunday scrap game after Texas already has the series wrapped up. But I expect Texas to get the season started on the right foot.
Sweet. All right, that's our predictions for week one of college baseball. We'll be tallying up the results and keeping a live tracker of that week by week, and having a little competition between the two of us to see who knows college baseball better by the end of the year. And yeah, stay tuned for that. And you can check Twitter for updates as the weekends progress.